Hello and welcome to Balanced Act. This is your new host, Sarah Crocker. That sounds British, doesn't it? Right, it does, I say. Rightio. Bloody hell. All jokes aside, this is your host, Juan, using an AI-generated voice to cover for me. I lost my voice over the weekend. I figured I'd use a voice as far removed from my own as possible, so you'd know it was me. Well, at least give you pause and to ask the question, what is going on here? Now, for today's episode, I wanted to talk about our values. I was watching a speech given by Myron Golden on YouTube, and he said something I thought was profound. He said that our values as adults are based on things that we lacked as children. He gave an example of his love for cars. As a child, his parents had a hard time affording a decent car and would always have car troubles, being able to only drive used, beat-up vehicles. When he grew up and became successful, he decided he would always own a nice vehicle. He said his son makes fun of him for owning a vehicle that does not match his house, his home being a bit humbler in appearance and price. I resonated with this idea. It made sense. I thought about my own values. Some of my core values are freedom and freedom of expression. As a child, I was raised by one of the most beautiful and giving women that God has ever created. My mother, Toni Nero. She was also incredibly overprotective. I remember watching a video of her, being taken by her then husband, Roscoe, while we were on vacation in the Bahamas when I was a teenager. He was filming her, and she was romantically swaying her head side to side, her long dreadlocks flowing about as she smiled lovingly at the camera. Suddenly, she started to look around herself, asking where are the kids? Her facial expression went from enjoyment to stress and terror. She looked about herself, swinging her head to the left and right. She kept anxiously asking, where are the kids, where are the kids? Roscoe then answered, they're right there. He took the camera, zoomed and focused on us standing on a balcony just behind them. My mother looked behind herself and saw us, my nephew, Ronnie, and my friend, Sean, and took a deep breath. She then went back to cooing at the camera and Roscoe behind it. This odd scene illustrates my childhood with her. While it was mostly filled with love, joy, acceptance, and plenty of action figures bought on lucky weekends, there was also this suffocating paranoia where she always had to have a bead on my whereabouts and protect me from all potential danger. This was, as you can imagine, a restrictive lifestyle. So, now as an adult, I value freedom. Freedom of expression, freedom to live my life as I see fit, freedom to have adventures and to explore my surroundings to my satisfaction. I value what I lacked as a child, at least what I perceived as lacking. I also was allowed to ride my bike wherever I wanted since the age of 12. My mother was also a single parent, and I was a cliché latchkey kid of the 1990s. Here I had the freedom, quotation marks, to experiment with alcohol, marijuana, and even sex at the tender young age of 14. Seems like a pretty free lifestyle in retrospect. This leads me to perception. I think it's good to go for the things we desire. Like Esther Abraham Hicks says, we will always want more, and we are never finished. However, we must be careful of our desires creating a sense of lack within us. In the Buddhist teachings, there is this concept of the Four Noble Truths. Two of those truths are known as dukkha and trishna. Dukkha is suffering, the daily feeling of lacking something in our lives and the pain that comes with that. Trishna is thirst or desire, and this is described as the root of all suffering. Knowing this, it becomes evident that we must strike a balance between what we desire and how we feel about those desires. Another thing I felt I lacked as a child was financial security. When my family would fall on hard times, I felt the sting of lack in a profound way. Mommy, I want this. Sorry sweetie, we can't afford it. Mommy, I want that. Sorry baby, maybe for Christmas. I would go mad with desire, constantly lacking the things I wanted. As an adult, I became obsessed with the idea of success. Financial success. But this type of success I've never achieved, at least not yet. And the amount of suffering and frustration I've put myself through in my attempts to achieve this are immeasurable. The time sacrificed, the relationships lost, even endangering my health at times, all to achieve a sense of wealth. This led to a road that ended in confusion and burnout. As I hit a spiritual rock bottom while chasing the almighty dollar, I had nowhere to turn but inward. This is where I discovered God. Because this road eventually led to my spiritual awakening and the beautiful life I live now, I do not regret it. Still, I wonder how much pain I could have saved myself if I did not chase my desires with such a sense of lack. This negative feeling that I carried with me for a lifetime was the definition of suffering. Now, with a far better understanding of the universe, myself, and how all this works, I now move towards my desires with a sense of detachment. I am detached from the results of my pursuits. This allows me to pursue my goals and dreams with a sense of fun, joy, and excitement. Yes, there are still hard days, and yes, there are still challenges, such as losing my voice, but now my approach is far better and allows for a better quality of life. So, in conclusion, if you are curious about what you value, look at what you perceived as lacking in your childhood. Then, look at your present desires and check how you feel about your approach towards realizing them. Do you feel good, confident, relaxed? What if your dreams never come true? Could you be okay with that? Explore the idea of detachment. Never lose sight of your desires but live a joyous life in the meantime of their actualization. Okay party people, that's it for this week. Thank you for joining me. And as always, may you find the balanced road between the metaphysical and the practical to your own happiness and well-being. Peace.